This is the leaked story of One Piece until chapter 1300++. If you don't want to accept it, then you can think of it as a theory. But still, eventually it will turn out to be true. Leak starts. Franky is about to eat the Kuma fruit, so Kuma dies. The devil fruits of Franky, Bonnie, and Luffy can be used together to time travel 900 years into the past. Luffy goes back in time and meets Joy Boy from before. His name is Dryas, the prince of the ancient kingdom. Is the will of D the same as the will of Dryas? Dryas is Imu's younger brother. But there will be conflict because Imu doesn't want Dryas to become the king. Imu conspires with 20 kings, potential Tenryubito, to destroy the large ancient kingdom and turn it into many small islands. Gods: Sun God, Luffy, Rain God, Dragon. Earth God: someone from Figureland, not Blackbeard, Forest God, a woman, not Admiral Green Bull. The treasure of Mariégeois, a battery. Behind the large straw hat is a battery. The room is cold so the battery doesn't leak. The Gorosei hate Sabo because he used fire in Mariégeois, causing the temperature in the treasure room to increase. The great battle begins with Blackbeard versus Shanks. Blackbeard, the king of the demons, will also go to Wano to get Pluton. The battle takes place on 3 fronts: Blackbeard, the samurai, and the marines. The marines are split into 2. The swords, Drake, Kobe, Helmeppo, etc., betray the marines. Akainu dies. All the powers of the devil fruits will disappear. In the end, Luffy swims even though he still can't use his devil fruit abilities. Why can Momo talk to Zunisha? Why can Luffy hear Zunisha and the Sea King? Why can Luffy find the ancient robot in Egghead? Why did Dragon save Luffy from execution by Buggy? They are all connected by the lineage factor, or DNA. This is the voice of all things. The Void Century. The ship Uranus crashed into the ancient kingdom continent. A great flood occurred. The continent broke into islands. There was a lot of dust in the atmosphere blocking the sun's rays. That was 100 years of cold darkness. The world waited for the arrival of the sun god 900 years later. Shanks, a member of the Figureland family, mentioned in the Red film. Like Doffy, Shanks is a Tenryubito. But the Figureland family's status may be higher. 900 years ago, the Figureland family made Imu the king of the world. Now, there is a Figureland, a relative of Shanks, who is the Earth God. Unfortunately, the Earth God has allied with Imu. Finally, the long-awaited return of Enel. He was made a power plant by the world government to turn on Uranus. But he will also join Luffy's alliance. Big Mom and Kaido also join Luffy's alliance. Is Luffy's devil fruit broken? Is Luffy's alliance too large? The enemies are more terrifying. Imu plus Blackbeard plus Earth God. Imu can control the sea. He has Uranus and his friend the Earth God. He literally has the power of the sky, earth, and sea. Several hundred years before the Void Century, the world was plagued by hunger, thirst, and cold. People from outer space gave seeds of plant life from fairy Virth to Earth. Trees grew and people thanked and prayed to the trees. From people's hopes, a magical fruit appeared. There were 4 fruits that appeared first. The 4 people who ate these fruits became the Earth God, Forest God, Rain God, and Sun God. Life in the world improved because of these 4 gods. But people were never satisfied. Many types of fruit appeared: elemental fruit, animal fruit, and even jacket fruit. Not all of these fruits were good, some were evil. The most evil was the Yami Yami no Mi, or perhaps we call it the king of the demons. The user of the guardian fruit, for example, Yamato's fruit, will fight against the user of an evil fruit, perhaps like Lucci. The four gods will defeat the king of the demons. After Egghead, we go to Elbaf, where many laws will be explained. There are many books saved from Ohara. There is also the secret base of the marine scientists. There is a lot of research on devil fruits. One of them is True Awakening, where some devil fruits can be combined. Kuma's fruit, which Frankie will later eat, Bonnie's fruit, and Luffy's fruit are combined. The result is that Luffy time travels 900 years into the past. Vegapunk will upgrade the Sunny Go. Frankie is sad because the Gown Cannon is considered weak by Vegapunk. It will be upgraded using the Pluton blueprint. Chopper finally awakens, properly. Sanji can use King's Haki. During the Void Century, Imu performs the Great Cleansing, check chapter 1054. Many are slaughtered. Joy Boy's era is defeated. Amu's age is reduced. Then he receives eternal youth surgery. Blackbeard wants to steal Pluton in Wano. But the Yami Yami no Mi can't absorb Pluton because it is coated in sea stone. Fujitora is also there. After talking to Aokiji, Fujitora decides to protect Pluton so that it won't be taken by the world government. Aokiji once met Dragon. The tattoos on Dragon's face symbolize important things to him. There are 3 identical tattoo symbols, with a square in the center and a square outside. The square in the center is the core, the square outside is his principle of protecting the core. The first, core, is related to the Ohara incident. The cold room in Mariégeois used to be cooled by a user of the ice logia. In addition to the battery mentioned earlier, there are also bodies of people who died in the war during the Void Century. The world used to be cold because of the dust in the atmosphere. Now the world is warming up again. So the room needs to be cooled again. When Aokiji is needed for this, he runs away. Vegapunk joins the revolutionaries. He will make a Den Den Mushi that is synchronized with his brain. Later, it can be connected to other Den Den Mushi. Vegapunk wants to announce something important to the world. Not continuing with the previous Vegapunk story, in West Blue, 55 years ago, there was an orphan living in a war zone. Every night, his mother said that she loved her child. The child grew up being bullied and frequently robbed. He became increasingly angry and conspired with other children. The group of children fought and stole food to share with those in need. As his mother believed, the child believed that justice and goodness would always exist. If God didn't exist, he would uphold justice. But the people given food by the child betrayed his trust. They beat and kicked his mother. His mother bled on the floor. There was also a newly sewn dog doll that was to be given to the child. But now it is also bleeding. The red dog. Then the child carries his mother to bed like she always did for him. Until she sleeps forever. Therefore, the child no longer believes in the goodness of people. What exists is only selfishness. He promises to uphold absolute justice and eliminate the source of evil, no matter how small it is. The child is now the fleet admiral, Akainu Sakazuki. In the past, sailors who left their hometown would wave goodbye to their families at the port. The farther away they went, the smaller their home island became. The same was true for their ship. It became smaller and smaller until it disappeared. All that was left was the sun. Near the end of the Void Century, Dryas, Joyboy, said, "Look at the setting sun. When it rises again, we will be together again. Family, friends, food, laughter, and drink. The sun is like the straw hat I hold in my hand, isn't it?" Since then, the straw hat has been considered a symbol of the coming dawn. One day, the sun will rise again. Similar to after darkness, comes light. Dryas's silhouette is similar to Luffy's. He also has a scar on his eye, but in a different position. 900 years ago, Luffy felt the presence of Imu and vice versa. That was the first time Imu felt two heartbeats that were the same, Dryas and Luffy. Luffy apologizes to Dryas. For some reason, Luffy wears a straw hat, but his face is covered by a helmet. Imu sees Luffy's straw hat, but doesn't see his face. 900 years later, Imu briefly thought that the figure in the straw hat was Shanks, who used to wear a straw hat. Have you seen the cover story of Enel Going to the Moon? There he meets space pirates who are aliens resembling animals. They are a species descended from the mink. In the past, when the mink wanted to go to Earth from the moon, Fairy Virth, they were given the baby Zunisha as a farewell gift. The mink come from the moon. Uranus also comes from the moon. Uranus, a ship that can fly to the moon. Dryas, previous user of the mythical Zoan fruit. The four gods' powers: Earth God, to create; Forest God, to preserve; Rain God, for sustainability; Sun God, for life. Blackbeard will full awakening. After this there won't be much left to be told. Before the last chapter 2, there will be a sad scene between Luffy and Law. Be prepared for characters who will die. The history of the log pose, the solar system model, Earth orbiting the Sun, and the formation of Reverse Mountain plus Grand Line plus Calm Belt will be explained by Vegapunk.